And internet giant Yahoo is under fire over reports the company scanned millions of user emails as part of a classified request from a federal intelligence agency. Sources speaking on condition of anonymity told Reuters that Yahoo was fulfilling a data collection request on behalf of the National Security Agency, or the FBI. RT correspondent Manny Rapolo joins us now to help break down the latest. Manny, what were the agencies involved here, and what was the nature of the requests made by the government?
Well, we know surprisingly little about the circumstances surrounding this case specifically. Reuters broke this story on Tuesday, again, as you mentioned, citing anonymous sources, that this request, this classified request by the federal government was made to aid either the National Security Agency, NSA, or the FBI. Again, that part isn't known. But what we're learning through this report is that in 2015, Yahoo had created a tool to help either one of those agencies scan the webmail. And so we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of millions of different users, presumably searching for keywords or phrases as part of an investigation. But again, presumably, we don't know the specifics behind this. Now, what's interesting also is that Yahoo didn't immediately make any comments about this report. It wasn't until today that we started hearing from Yahoo, which put out a statement saying that the report was misleading, which is interesting, and a lot of analysts have already said, including Sam Biddle from the Intercept, in an article, that misleading doesn't necessarily mean false. So it's a denial, but also not denying this case, not denying the facts that are outlined in this report. And if it does turn out to be true, this would effectively be the first instance that we're seeing of a internet company complying with an order from the federal government to allow mass collection, bulk collection of data on the scale of a web service. This is something that Microsoft, Google, all the other tech giants have said they've never had a request of this sort, and Google went as far as saying that even if they'd had that request, their simple answer would have been no.
Well, this story's been out for about a day now. Has Yahoo experienced any sort of backlash?
Well, we're already seeing articles. I mentioned that article by the Intercept. The title of that article was "Delete Your Yahoo account." Yeah. But we don't know what information, what data specifically Yahoo passed along to the federal government. We may not ever know that, but nevertheless, the story does leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, not just users of Yahoo, but a lot of folks. What cybersecurity experts are saying is that Yahoo probably acted in accordance with Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, which allows for the bulk collection of data of foreign targets, but it doesn't allow for the bulk collection of data of everyone and anyone that has an @yahoo.com email address. We're seeing backlash, not so much from American politicians, but we are hearing foul being cried by politicians in the European Union. Ireland's Data Protection Commissioner said that any form of mass surveillance infringing on the fundamental privacy of EU citizens is a reason for concern. And this story isn't just about this latest revelation that we're hearing. Back in February, the EU and the United States signed a deal that would allow for the data that belongs to EU citizens that have accounts with American companies. That data can be moved and stored in the United States. You compile that with the litany of problems and controversies that Yahoo has seen, including hacks that date back to 2015, this puts a lot more scrutiny on that deal, considering that the biggest privacy concern that people in the EU have is over whether or not their data is safe from the prying eyes of American intelligence agencies.
Right, and there's another deal that might be called into question. Earlier this year, Verizon announced that it would be acquiring Yahoo's core operation. Will this controversy affect that deal?
Well, there's no reason there's nothing that we can point to right now that would suggest that Verizon's going to backtrack on that deal, that acquisition that they announced earlier this year of Yahoo. But again, we're talking about this only being the latest in a series of controversies that Yahoo as a company is going through. They only recently announced of a hack of somewhere around 500 million accounts that happened all the way back in 2014. What would be problematic is if Yahoo knew about these controversies before they became headlines and failed to disclose those to Verizon before that acquisition was announced. That would be problematic. But at the moment, both parties seem to be quiet about it. But again, no reason to believe that they will backtrack, but it could have the potential of derailing the acquisition altogether.
Either way, not great news for Yahoo. RT correspondent Manuel Rapolo, thank you so much for bringing us that update.
Thanks, Anya.